Yoga Lattes community. I'm Nick. I work alongside Louise with the Yoga Lattes Academy, and we've been busy these last 2 years creating all the online content for, in particular, starting off as our 350-hour Yoga Lattes teacher training program. But in the last year, we've been really excited to start breaking down that full, complete online course into smaller courses. So this is a message for anyone who is a yoga teacher, Yoga Lattes teacher, Pilates teacher, or even physiotherapist, anyone who teaches group classes. What we've created from if you've done our Yoga Lattes teacher training, we've had a module within our full, complete teacher training called Special Needs. And we've taken that one module and it's now called Adaptive Therapeutic Yoga. And we've broken it down into 2 parts, 30 hours online each. And we've got a special one for the month of September where you're getting 10% off doing both of these courses together. So 2 30-hour courses online. And it saves you $150. It's a savings anyway purchasing parts 1 and 2. You can do part 1 and then part 2 at a later date. They are broken down into 2 specific courses. So what you'll get from this adaptive therapeutic course is an understanding of how to work with students who come into your class who might have conditions, injuries, or even postural types, and how their postural types are taken into poses. And we start to work out all these different postural types, like we have a module called body types, and we focus on kyphosis, lordosis, sway back, scoliosis, and flat back, and see how these body types fit with different poses that we do, or asana, or even exercises that we do, and how we can modify those exercises for the individuals. And there's also a focus on conditions, so understanding a little bit more. This is not usually in a regular yoga or Pilates teacher training initial course. So understanding some of the conditions that are so commonly walking into our classes. So lower back conditions, anxiety, high blood pressure, sacroiliac joint dysfunction. I knew I was going to forget some of them. I've got my list here. Yeah, shoulder conditions, issues with knees, hips. And we cover the anatomy and physiology of these conditions, and then we look at the way we can modify and apply adjustments and alternatives to postures, to exercises, to asana. And it means that you can teach a group class and still be able to include people in your class that have come along with these conditions. And let's face it, that's a high percentage of the population these days that someone's going to come in and tick the box and say that they have one of those conditions. And you can not only make them feel included in the group class, but you can also give them options so that they can start working towards rehabilitating or even understanding their condition and making the adjustments that they need so they can start making themselves not only more comfortable but feel included in the group classes. The other thing is too, we're creating these this understanding so that you could create more personalised programs, whether it be group classes or a one-to-one program working with individuals that might be showing up with these conditions. So there's lots more than what I've just said. I've kept my screen open. Click on the link in bio and have a look at the Adaptive Therapeutic Yoga course, parts 1 and 2, 30 hours, and there is the 10% off at the moment when you buy part 1 and 2 together. So it's actually a huge saving. So we'd love to have you join us. I'm just going to have a look and see if there is anything else. Yeah, we go through foundational poses and exercises, positions. We put the body in different planes of movement and assess what that could be doing for certain body types and postural types, conditions. Part 2 gets a little bit more explorative in understanding the thoracic and shoulder girdles and the connection to core through those thoracic and shoulder girdles. We also explore more complicated postures, standing sequences, that sort of thing in part 2. And we add the additional focus with restorative yoga and the basics of Ayurveda and how this can be impacting our teaching groups or individuals, understanding a little bit more about Ayurveda and the doshas. So yeah, have a look. Louise and I have written a blog that is also in the link in bio about yoga returning to its roots and the accessibility and adversity of a yoga practice, how some of the modern styles are perhaps losing that traditional focus that yoga originally came in with, to be able to modify and apply yoga for individuals. I think there's I hear about it all the time, a lot of yogis that might perhaps want to be a yogi and heard all the benefits of yoga, and they've gone along to a yoga class thinking they've done the right thing. But if the teacher is not understanding the conditions that they've turned up with, and they don't have a toolbox of how to modify the poses for that particular individual, they can sometimes feel like they were left out of a lot of poses because they couldn't actually do them. They weren't offered the modifications, and they can sometimes feel a little bit excluded from the practice when that happens. But also, we've got plenty of yoga students that we work with that have been injured in yoga classes because they haven't been modified for, and they've done things that their body type perhaps is best to avoid. And we go through all that in the Adaptive Therapeutic Yoga course. So yeah, have a look and see if it's something you might like to do. If you're a yoga Pilates teacher, prior to 2016, you would have done the special needs module, because I know in 2004 I had that in my training as well. But since 2016, we really have expanded on it, and then we've enhanced it even more since 2020 and with the online content that we've created. So if you're a yoga Pilates teacher prior to 2016, it might be a really good refresh and diving a little bit deeper into some of those special needs learnings that you did when you originally did your training. All right, we'd love to have you join us online. Have a peek. All right, have a great day, everyone.